Well, hello, and welcome back to Discover Your Intuitive Self, and I am your host, Brenda Reading. And tonight, I have a special guest, and her name is Angela Hewitt App. She is a registered Lilydale medium and the owner of Santosha Holistic Wellness Center. Welcome, Angela.
Hi, Brenda. Hi, there we are. I see us. Hi, Brenda. Thanks for having me on. I'm so excited.
Oh, I'm so happy to have you here. Welcome, Angie. I'm just going to call you Angie for the show.
Okay, sounds good.
So, Angie, you are a Lilydale registered medium, which means you have gone through rigorous testing over a period of years in order to have that title. You've earned it. And so I'm going to ask you some questions, if you don't mind.
Yeah, I don't mind.
How long have you been doing professional readings?
Probably a little over 25 years. So a long time. I started doing the work when I was 17. So I won't admit like how many years that is.
Right.
but like really professionally a little over 25 years.
That is incredible. So when did you first realize your spiritual gifts?
It's kind of a strange story. So, I was about probably right around 17, and I actually had a job working at a bank, and I worked out at the drive-in, and I was raised Catholic, so I didn't believe in all this stuff.
Yeah,
You too. Yeah. Yeah. It totally went against. And so, but I worked with these two girls who believed in all this psychic stuff and intuitive stuff. And we would have these discussions like all day long at the bank. We took care of customers, and then we would talk, and we actually read a lot of books. I don't know if you've ever read like the Seth books by Jane Roberts. Those are good books. The Jane Roberts channeled Seth. And so we started doing that. And then my friend Sandy had this great idea, she said, this great idea. I said no at first, but she said we should do the Ouija board.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. So, and I know some people are afraid of it. We didn't have anything bad happen. So we didn't do this at the bank. That was good.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
And we went to one of our houses and we started doing the board. And for some reason it was me and Sandy with our hands on the little pointer thing, and the other friend would read the messages, or she kind of was just there giving support. And after a while, like I started reading the messages, and we were getting like verifiable information. And my friend Sandy said, I don't think that we should like use the board anymore. I think we should just ask you questions, and we could call this Ask Ange or something like that, right? And and see if see how you do. And I said, absolutely not. There's no way I'm doing that. But I did, and I started getting like all kinds of information that was correct. So that's where I started. Wow.
So for our listeners, I always tell them that we are all born with these gifts, that they're natural gifts from God, and that you can learn them as well. So it's not that we're any more special than anyone else. It's just we've opened up.
Yes.
And so, so what type of education did you look for after that?
I was going to say that I 100% agree with you that we all have these gifts for sure. And I think like for me, when I was doing that with my friends, I wasn't worried about it because we were sort of having fun, and just like in having fun and not getting worried, I was getting correct information, Mm-hmm. So, and I think that's what I was doing, was connecting like we all can to what we were born with. So.
Awesome. So
that isn't what you asked me though, was it?
No, I asked. Can you tell we're friends? I asked you, what type of education did you seek out?
So after we were doing that for a while, we ended up going to Lilydale, and actually Sandy went to Lilydale first, and she said, I found this medium who is amazing, and we have to go get readings, and then you have to confess that you can do this too.
Confess. Yeah.
She said, you have to confess, you know.
You better confess.
You better confess, you know. So I went to Lilydale. We got a reading with Elaine Thomas, who is really one of the best mediums in Lilydale. And I think we went for 2 or 3 readings, and then I finally did confess to her. And I thought this was this big deal that I was
probably already knew.
Yeah, she probably already knew.
She already knew.
But you know what she said, though, Brenda, is just what you said. Is she said, you know, yeah, great. That's great. Not really that big of a deal because we can all do this, you know?
Right.
Yeah. And then she said, you know, I have a school. You should think about coming. And so I went to the spiritual insight training weekends. I don't know if you've gone to those. Have you?
No, I have not. Not at fellowship. Mm-mm.
Okay, so they're good. So I went to the 2 weekends, and I didn't go to the school. I learned a lot. Probably, you know, I was raising my daughter, working a job, doing other things. So I waited probably about maybe 8 years, and then I went back, and then I repeated one of the weekends, and then I signed up for their 2-year school.
Awesome.
That was my first thing. I've taken lots of other trainings since, but that was my first.
You mentioned that you took like an 8-year, you know, time to raise your daughter and things like that. I think that happens to a lot of people where, you know, you get to that teenage year and you realize something is going on, and then comes college and work and family and all that, and you kind of get distracted from your spiritual path, you know.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, for some reason, it just is back in front of your face, and then you really put some work towards it, and then you can see just how wonderful your gifts are when you put some work towards them.
That's true. And you kind of realize that you put some work towards them, and you can help people, which is important, but then also it helps you in your own life, I think. The more connected you are to your intuition, you know, it helped me.
Absolutely. So with that being said, you teach your own mediumship development classes at Santosha Holistic Wellness Center in Williamsville, New York, which I'm lucky enough to be a part of with you.
I know. I love that you are too.
So happy about that. And so my question is right now you have a group of students they're beginners, in fact, that they're taking the class from you. Some are more experienced than others, but you have so much to offer in all the different classes that I find, even myself being a medium and doing the work, it's always great to learn more, from other people, because everybody uses different techniques. There's just different tips that you can learn and glean from other instructors. And I even find myself learning things from you, Angie. So I think it's great to be part of the program. And so from your teacher point of view, what's the number one issue that you run into with the students?
The number one issue is trust. You know, and by the way, thank you for saying what you said, because I learn a lot from you too. And I love to keep on learning. I still go back and learn. And but I feel like that's the biggest thing, and I think that was the biggest issue for me as well, was trusting what came to you. You know, and you start kind of questioning it, or you know, you use your thinking mind, and you can't think about intuition. You have to just let it come, and you have to trust it.
And so you have another round of beginning classes starting in January of 2021, correct?
Yes.
Okay, and you're doing them on Zoom, and you have figured out a great way to hold these classes, in the fact that you put us into different groups, and then there's mentors in the groups, and you get to practice, and then you have homework, and it's just fabulous. And so if anybody's interested in the next round of classes with Angie, just go to her website at santoshaholisticcenter.com, correct?
Yes.
Or your Facebook page, which is Santosha.
Yeah, Santosha, or even my personal page is my name, Angie Apt. You can find it that way as well. But yeah, everything is listed right there. But yeah, we are starting another, and thank you. It was strange to start teaching them on Zoom, but I think that the nice thing about that, and you know that just by doing this show, is so many more people can sign up for it, so they don't have to travel to Buffalo. Absolutely.
And we have international people that are listening tonight. So they could even be in your class. I mean, it could be
exciting.
It could be international. It would be, yes, very exciting. And look at the different perspectives we could bring into the group. So that would be awesome. So real quick, do you have a tip for my listeners, as far as the trust issue with mediumship or just listening to your intuition?
First, I always feel the first thing is your gut feelings, and I think everybody I talk to has gut feelings about should I do this or not do this, or trusting a person or what have you. And those gut feelings are always your intuition, right, Brenda?
Yes, that's true.
Yeah. And I think meditation, I remember when I went to fellowship school, that was one of the most important things they told us that was a requirement, was that you had to learn how to meditate. And we all thought we couldn't do it. Right. And with practice we could, but I feel like meditation really connects you to your higher self or your intuitive self right away. Right.
Yes. I try to do some meditation on our shows here, with exercises, just shorter ones for the people listening, just to get them used to doing it so that they can, continue on with their learning. So, Angie, if it's okay with you, we have a caller, and I thought if you'd like, we could do where you can start the reading, and then if I can do what they call piggyback, right? I can hop on after you're done talking if I get things as well, if that's okay with you.
Yeah, oh my God, yeah, of course.
Yeah, and I believe we have Linda. Linda, can you tell me where you're from? Oh, okay, it might be just a minute. Okay, so you know what? Talk about that other exercise that you do with the left, right, right.
I was just going to say that. I was just going to say that's what I was going to told you I was going to say, and I forgot. But okay, so this helped me a lot, because everybody always told me, just trust what comes to you with your intuition, and that was always a little scary to me. I like to have tools.
Sure.
So I went to this class, and actually Sharon Klingler was the teacher. It's another Lily Dale registered medium. And she talked about the left side of our brain being our intellectual side, and the right side of our brain being our intuitive side. And so she said the beauty of it is you can't be in both sides of your brain at the same time. So she showed us this exercise where we imagine white light coming down from above and, kind of moving through us. And then how you would with meditation, and then connecting to and feeling the energy of the right side of your brain, and then connect to your intuition. And she said, as soon as you start thinking, and you think that's not real, or I'm not saying that, or even thinking, ooh, that was good, as soon as you're thinking, then you switch to the left side and you're out of your intuition. So and that happens to me even after all these years. Sometimes I'm doing a reading and, I think I'm not saying that, or
yeah.
Does that happen to you too?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Sometimes spirit can have a really good sense of humor, and they give you some type of symbol or message that, it's really kind of wacky, but you have to say it. You have to.
Yeah, because that one wacky thing that you think you don't want to say is I used to have that happen in the beginning, and I can't think of an example, but that one wacky thing, and I'd finish the reading and not say that, and the person would say, oh, I wish you would have talked about this, and I'd be like, oh, I had it, I wish I would have said it too. So
yeah. I mean, if we had an hour show, we could talk about some different examples of those things. One time I got chicken feet at a reading, and I'm like, oh, I got to say, and it turned out, it turned out to be the person's grandmother was a witch doctor that used chicken feet. Really? So anyways, we have a caller, Angie. And
yay, okay, that's exciting.
Marie.
Okay.
So welcome, Marie.
Hello, all right?
Hi, Marie.
Oh. Hi, you okay? Can you hear me all right?
Yes, we can.
Hello? Oh,
yes,
you hear me now okay?
Yes, we can.
Right.
So, Marie, how can we help you today?
Brilliant. I've just got a question. We're on the, looking at moons then? but we're waiting for our mortgage, and we've been waiting for quite a while now, and just getting a little bit worried, to be honest. I don't know whether it's the right thing, whether it's going to happen, or I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm not sure.
Angie, she's
really
asking about her mortgage.
A mortgage. Okay, I thought that's what you said. Okay, you if for some reason it cut out a little bit for me. Okay, let me connect and see. Do you mind if I say my prayer, Brenda?
Okay.
No, not at all. Go ahead.
Okay.
Of course, that's fine.
Okay, so, thanks.
Yeah.
Oh God, as we open the door to communication in unity of the Holy Spirit, the great I am presence of the universe, we give thanks, for we know that the words spoken are filled with your love, truth, wisdom, and understanding of the highest. Amen. So right away, I'm picking up that, yes, you are going to get this mortgage. And it feels like, I don't know if everything's been a little bit tough lately, or everything has just kind of been that way where you live, or I feel like probably in all of our lives, it's been like that through these past few months. But I keep feeling like it's almost like there's a little hump that I feel like you have to kind of get over the hump, and you're on your way over it. And I feel this, that by the time it happens, and by the time you get the mortgage and have things the way that you want them, it feels like it's going to be like maybe a better mortgage rate or something along those lines. Like you're going to look back and you're going to say, boy, I sure was worried, but now I'm looking back on it and things couldn't have happened in a better way. I also feel, and have you found the house? Because did you already find the house?
Yeah, we found the house about 4 weeks ago. Okay. So it's been going on for it's funny how things are worked out, because they have to do a drug test on it, and it comes back positive. So they have to do that, and that's what's left the house hanging on a little bit. And now the couple are on about renting it out if they haven't heard back from us by next week. And I'm just worried because, I had a phone call earlier saying it's not looking positive at the moment, but he's still trying to get us a mortgage. So, it's just a little bit like panic mode at the moment. Yeah.
I feel a yes. And I sometimes I feel like if whoever you have helping you with this, I feel like they're going to look in different directions, and they're going to find like it feels like the best rate and the best way. This is absolutely going to happen. What do you have, Brenda, on it?
Yeah, it feels good to me too. Are you moving out of the city by any chance? Are you moving to where you have some more space?
Yes, where we've got a lot more space, yes. It's obviously in the same town, but where we've got more space for our kids, yeah.
It does. It feels, the home feels good. It feels like it's got a lot of good energy. And, so I know I can understand why you're a little anxious, because you're just really hoping that this goes through, and that, because it's going to be great. But I feel like not only is there more space in the house, but space around the house too. Than where you were before, like a lot more green space, like more yard and things like that. And it'll be very conducive for your family. That's great. It seems positive.
Yeah.
It does.
Brilliant. Brilliant.
Awesome.
That's fantastic. Yeah. Thank you.
Well, congratulations, homeowner.
Thank you.
Thank you, folks. Thank you. Thank you very much for your help. And
you're welcome.
Yeah, that's very kind of you to speak to me today. And it's very good listening to you guys. And thank you very much for your help. Thank you.
Thank you. Good luck. Good luck to you. Good luck to you.
Yeah. Good luck. Bye, Marie.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Thank you, ladies. Bye. Bye.
Thank you. Bye. Bye-bye. Brenda, that was fun.
Yeah, wasn't it?
Yeah, we did that together. That was fun.
We could do another one if they have a caller, and if not, we can just keep chatting. So,
okay. I know we always have lots to chat about with our mediumship and our readings and all the fun things we get to do.
Oh, I know.
You do some good teaching too.
Oh, it's funny you bring that up, because I this week I just got my 2 classes accepted at Lilydale. So I will be teaching 2 classes in Lilydale this season coming up in 2021. I know this last year was a lot different, because of the COVID, but I'm feeling extremely optimistic for next summer in the Dale. And I know that you being a registered medium there, you will be out and about doing your services at the Stump and at Forest Temple and the different places that they have. And you will also be there available to do readings for people. So I think that's just fabulous.
I know. I love it. It's amazing. If anybody, I'm sure you've told them about Lilydale. It's an amazing place.
No, I really haven't talked too much about Lilydale. I kind of started the show like with your, intuition and the different senses and things like that. And the clairs, kind of like, bringing them up so that we can get to the point of mediumship, because to me, it's like a progression. I mean, not always, because like for me, I felt as a child that there were people in my bedroom and that I could, hear them. In fact, at one point I used to like sleep at the bottom of my bed. I'd have my head at the bottom of the bed and my feet up towards the pillow because I could hear people in my room. And I figured if they were going to get me, they'd be like beating on my feet instead of my head.
You did.
Wasn't that crazy? But I didn't realize what was going on. And like you, I was raised Catholic. So it's like you mentioned something and it was like, oh yeah, no, that's, So it really wasn't talked about. So so that was my experience. And then, I did the same as you. You get older and then you get busy with life and then you kind of come off your path a bit. But then it's like spirit whacks you on the side of the head. And it's like, well, what are you doing? Yeah, it's like, what are you doing? Get back here.
Yeah, so, that's for sure. I remember like being a kid and like I didn't have any experiences like that as a kid, but I can remember my mom. My mom would always talk on the phone to her friends and, be on the phone for a couple hours. And I used to sit on the stairs and listen, right? And probably do that with their moms, and my mom went to Lilydale, and I can remember like thinking, wow, like there's something about that. Like I just felt drawn. And when the opportunity came to go see Elaine, and that was in Lilydale, like I knew I had to go.
Yeah. It was like, well, then it was really funny because I found out that my grandmother on my mother's side of the family actually lived there and rented there for a while. So my mother grew up there for a few years, a couple summers at the Dale. I had no idea. So, I don't know. It was just kind of a weird coinky dinky, right?
Yeah. I had something like for years because I sort of wondered, why can I do this? I don't know why. And then I wasn't that close to my dad's side of the family. And I went to a family reunion on my dad's side and they were talking to me about doing, my mediumship. And it turns out that my dad's mom's mom, who I never knew, had worked in the old hotel in Alcott Beach. And they owned the stand. They did readings.
See, yeah, I do think there can be some hereditary predisposition for it. I mean, I write about that in my book, which isn't done yet, but I'm working on it. So
I can't wait to read it.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, I do think that there is some hereditary predisposition, but like we both said at the beginning of the show, you can learn it.
Absolutely,
you can learn how to tune into your gifts.
What I always feel like this, that when I teach intuitive development, I don't ever feel really like I teach it. I feel like I help people remember what's already there. Don't you feel that?
Wow, that's an interesting way to look at it. Yeah, because it's how they're born, right? So it's remembering, or not only remembering, but connecting to that spark. I talked about that last week in the show, is because you do a lot too with connecting heart to heart. You do that even like you said with your prayer. When you do your prayer, you connect in the heart. And like I said last week, and I know this is how you feel too, is when you're connecting with your heart, you can't lose. The Spirit's going to have your back, and it's always for the highest and best.
Oh yeah, I feel that. I you're right. I always teach that I teach students to connect to their heart and then imagine that their heart energy connects to the other person's. And I feel like you can't go wrong with that. If you do things from your heart all the way around in life, I think we're okay.
Absolutely. So for the listeners, you can also book readings with Angie through her website, SantoshaHolisticCenter.com. And you can find her on Facebook. And like I said, she will be in the Dale. We call it the Dale.
The Dale, yes.
Little Lily Dale Assembly down in southwestern New York, right?
Yeah. And Brenda, to your classes, like if they want to take a class and it's people that are international and don't get to Lilydale, I'm sure they do their classes on Zoom now as well.
Yeah, that's part of the requirement, so I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah.
So I just want to thank you, Angie, for coming on tonight.
Thank you.
It's been fun, and it's always good for the listeners to hear other points of views, and how people started on their journey. And I want to thank A1R Psychic Radio and Moonstruck TV for having us.
Yeah.
So have a good night, everyone.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thanks for letting me come on. It was an honor.